What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the third studio album by Marina and the Diamonds, which of course is just a stage name. This album is called Froot, spelled F-R-O-O-T, because why not? Don't forget to check out my vlog channel. I post new vlogs maybe like every week or two. Stay up to date on what's going on in my life. That's in the link in the description down below, along with my Facebook, Twitter, and of course the top link is a link to donate to the channel if you would like to help out this channel, help the reviews keep coming on a more regular basis. I've been a casual fan of Marina over the years, haven't really gotten into a ton of her music. My first exposure to her was finding out about her music after Hoodie Allen sampled her in his song You Are Not a Robot. I believe that was 2011 whenever that track dropped. I gotta say, originally going into her material, I wasn't that into it, but at the time, my taste hadn't really evolved much beyond that of the casual rock and pop world, and now years later I found myself getting into so many more acts that I originally found inaccessible, and Marina and the Diamonds, especially with this new record Froot, is something that I'm really getting into. I would say that stylistically, this album reminds me more of her debut album than her last 2012 record, Electra Heart. I say that mainly because of the wordplay that's used all throughout this record. It seems a little bit more tongue-in-cheek, if you will. I think I'm definitely hearing some more of those electro-pop influences bleeding into this new record. Not in a rehash type way, like she's just doing the same thing, making Electra Heart 2.0, but in the sense that she's taking the 80s sensibilities that a lot of people are pulling off right now and kind of combining that with a modern pop vibe. Happy is a nice reflective ballad, one of the first tracks released from this album, although it is kind of an odd way to start off the album. It doesn't really exactly set the pace for what's to come. The tone is decidedly dark in nature, similar to another track on this record called I'm a Ruin. The latter of those sells itself a bit better though, helped by this well-rounded instrumental that includes a light guitar, some stomping drum rhythms, and of course some light synthesizers. Marina really croons on the chorus here, with the sound just getting sweeter and sweeter to the ears with each listen. The album's closing track, Immortal, is another one of those that kind of falls on the softer side of the fence, maybe more ballad-esque. I can't say that I'm feeling all that strongly towards this track, but it does command a weird sense of urgency out of the listener. It's starting to grip me a little bit more each time I hear it, find out a little bit more about the track. It's not really about immortality as a person, it's about achieving it with the life that you live, the memories that you pass on to others. That is what lives on forever. The big thing I noticed about this record, and something that was obviously a decision, bringing on kind of a live band to really fully round out her sound, and I'm hearing that all over the record. I think the first track that really gives us a sense of that is the track Blue. The song is so disco-tinged I can almost taste it. The hook is almost impossible to miss. It's just simple, four-on-the-floor fun. It's one of those tracks that kind of just sees a girl kicking herself for going back to the same individual over and over again, and I know you're thinking, you know, that sounds like every song ever, but no, it actually manages to be and become something way more than that. The title track, Froot, was my first exposure to this record. It's really just an endearing track that features more of that tongue-in-cheek wordplay that I was talking about, and sees Marina hitting a nice range of notes with her voice. The highs are pretty damn impressive, soaring into this smooth as silk hook. It's almost as if it was sung like Marina had something up her sleeve, like she sung it with a twisted smile on her face the whole time. I love that. The instrumental on this thing is pretty wicked cool too, sounding like a combination between 80s synth pop and maybe an 80s Atari video game soundtrack. If you're looking for the darker side of things that aren't necessarily ballads, then I gotta recommend the tracks Solitaire and Weeds. Solitaire features this kind of subdued and eerie intro, but Marina's voice here, it just sounds absolutely gorgeous. She speaks of slipping into a state of, well, solitary confinement, kind of taking herself away from the world and all of the wounds that have been inflicting on her and just kind of taking time to heal herself. There are some aspects of this track that I'm just not getting into though, mainly whenever she starts reaching for those high notes. I really just don't feel like they fit with this song's persona. Like I mentioned, Weeds is another one of those tracks that kind of keeps things in the realm of darkness with hints of despair, but without totally losing a sense of hope. I'm kind of on the fence with this one though, although it's definitely not a bad tune. We go from the dark to the light though. Forget might just be my favorite cut on this record because damn, this song is good. It's one of those tracks that puts off an oddly good vibe even though it doesn't exactly have the most uplifting lyrics. To me, it's a song about kind of forgiving yourself, allowing yourself to move away from your mistakes, and just moving on with life. It's so easy to get bogged down in those things and just not forgive yourself, but It's just kind of a self-empowering track telling you to, hey, push that aside, and it does it without being super cheesy. The guitar on this track is absolutely spectacular, definitely reminiscent of some mid-2000s alternative, with Marina's vocals sounding as mesmerizing as ever. Better Than That is another one of those that I'm really enjoying. It's kind of kicked off with this choppy little guitar line and features some of the most hook-centric and catchy melodies on the entire LP. Scratch what I said just a minute ago, maybe this is my favorite song on the album. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got this slick bass groove to it, some well-crafted guitars, and of course the vocals. Marina just knocks it out of the park here on this track. One track that really piqued my curiosity here on this thing was the track Gold. It reminded me a lot of MGMT, a combination of the synth-heavy, oracular, spectacular, and of course the guitar smart congratulations. However, it's not one of those moments where I feel like the actual content is outweighed by the influences. This is a pretty strong cut, but it's like whenever you were a child, you had one of those toy rockets and you thought it was just gonna shoot miles into the sky and make this huge explosion, but instead it only went up a couple of 100 feet and landed in the neighbor's yard. All I mean by that analogy is I just felt like this song kind of wanted to take off, kind of had a fire lit up under it, but never really got to its full potential. If you're looking for a little attitude though, I would not look any further than Can't Pin Me Down, because this track is practically bursting at the seams with it. Once again, I'm pretty surprised with how strong the instrumental is here on this track. There's a fluent and intricate guitar line all throughout this song, kind of really impressing me, especially during the bridge. To prove just how diverse of a writer she can be, all while remaining super catchy, I've gotta turn your attention to the track Savages. The human mind, savage underneath it all? I'm inclined to agree with her after the points she makes here on this song. I mean, it's probably points that we've all heard before, but it's kind of the whole Lord of the Flies situation. If you ever read that book as a child, watched the movie, underneath it all, how long would it really take for us to turn into savages? Kind of a thought-provoking tune. It also features a great instrumental on it, so I'm inclined to say that it's one of my favorites here on this record. Some of the songs run a little bit long. In fact, only one track clocks in at under 4 minutes, which is kind of a wow factor to me, especially for kind of a pop-leaning record. Most of those songs do justify that runtime though, because Marina does have a very likable and relatable personality that really bleeds into her music, whether it be on the more danceable tunes or on the more subdued ballad-leaning cuts. Froot is a strong 4 out of 5 from me. I definitely think that I'm going to be playing a lot of these songs throughout 2015. It sucks that this album leaks so far in advance, so definitely make sure you pick it up when it comes out officially. They moved up the release date to March 16th. I will link to it in the description down below if you would like to pre-order, and of course let me know your thoughts on Froot in the comments section down below. Smash the like button while you're down there and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more of my content. Thank you to all the new subscribers. I've gotten about maybe 1,200 in the past month or so, thanks to the collaborations with Spectrum Pulse and the Needle Drop. It's always great to see the channel keep growing. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you very soon right here on ARTV.